What if the key to unshakable confidence, inner peace, and true success has been in front of you all along? The ancient Stoics mastered a mindset that made them immune to fear, failure, and uncertainty, giving them the power to thrive in any situation. In this video, we're breaking down 5 Stoic principles that can completely transform your life overnight. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or controlled by things outside your power, this is your wake-up call. Stay until the end, because mastering these principles might just be the breakthrough you've been searching for. There are things within our power and things that fall outside our power. Within our power are our opinions, desires, dislikes. In some, our own thoughts and actions. Outside our power are our physical characteristics, the class into which we are born, our reputation in the eyes of others, and the honors or offices that may be bestowed on us. When we work within our sphere of control, we are naturally free, independent, and strong. But beyond that sphere, we are weak, limited, and dependent. If you pin your hopes on things outside your control, taking upon yourself things that rightfully belong to others, you are liable to stumble, suffer, and blame both gods and men. But if you focus your attention only on what is truly your own, concern and leave to others what concerns them, then you will be in charge of your interior life. No one will be able to harm or hinder you. You will blame no one and have no enemies. If you wish to have peace and contentment, release your attachment to all things outside your control. This is the path to freedom and happiness. But if you seek not just peace and contentment, but power and wealth as well, you may forfeit the former in pursuit of the latter, and you will lose your freedom and happiness along the way. The nature of change and growth. All of us are flawed. We all have our own little imperfections, limiting beliefs, biases, incorrect assumptions, rough edges, and quirks, all of which make us individuals. We are far from perfect, and we are far from a finished product, and that's okay. It's simply part of being human. As we develop over time, these rough edges get smoothed out. Our perceptions are shaped by experience, our beliefs challenged by the realities of life. Ideally, these changes are constructive, making us better people as we move forward. But that is not always the case. Too often we become products of our environment, shaped by random chance rather than deliberate intention. And while luck may sometimes result in positive growth, it can just as easily lead us in a direction that is destructive. This is why Stoicism emphasizes conscious and deliberate development, reminding ourselves of the kind of person we want to be, the goals we've set, and the steps we need to take to get there. Rule 1. Accept what you can't control. The quote, "Accept what you can't change and focus on what you can," is often linked to Marcus Aurelius and is a key idea in Stoicism. This philosophy teaches us to put our energy into things we can control and let go of what we can't. Doing this helps us avoid stress and stay at peace. By focusing only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we free ourselves from frustration over things beyond our reach. Instead of wasting energy on external events or other people's opinions, we can direct it toward personal growth and making the best choices in any situation. This mindset leads to greater resilience, clarity, and a more fulfilling life. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about the things which are beyond the power of our will. One of the most fundamental principles of Stoicism is distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. If we get this right, we remove the ability for external events to disrupt our peace of mind. Instead of being at the mercy of life's randomness, we become resilient and effective individuals. If we get this wrong, however, we allow anything in the world to influence our well-being. Our peace of mind becomes a plaything of chance, and we are pulled in all directions by whatever captures our attention and emotional energy. Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy. Epictetus. The key to applying this principle is to constantly remind yourself where your focus should be. When you find yourself getting frustrated by an external event, a delayed flight, a rude stranger, an economic downturn, pause and ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then your response is the only thing left to manage. Instead of fighting reality, redirect that energy into what you can influence. If the flight is delayed, use the time to read, plan, or reflect. If someone is rude, control your own response rather than reacting emotionally. If the economy is struggling, focus on how you can adapt and improve your own financial resilience. The moment you accept what you cannot change, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Over time, this practice builds emotional discipline. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and instead become someone who adapts, overcomes, and remains unshaken by life's turbulence. This is true strength, choosing where to place your energy rather than wasting it on things that don't serve you. Rule 2. Love fate. Amor Fati. One area of life that causes immense suffering is the inability to accept the unfolding of events. People get frustrated over traffic, the economy, the weather, or the actions of others, despite these events being completely outside their control. The Stoics used a concept called Amor Fati, meaning love of fate. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "My formula for human greatness is Amor Fati," that one wants nothing to be different, not in the future, not in the past, not for all eternity, not only to endure what is necessary, still less to conceal it, but to love it. Everything that has come before you was necessary for you to exist at this very moment. Without the unfolding of past events, life as we know it would not have emerged. The struggles and hardships we face are necessary to appreciate joy, peace, and triumph. The dark gives meaning to the light. Instead of resisting life's hardships, start viewing them as essential parts of your personal evolution. Every difficulty you encounter is an opportunity to strengthen your mind, cultivate resilience, and grow into a wiser version of yourself. The next time you face adversity, rather than complaining or wishing it were different, ask yourself, how can this serve me? What lesson is hidden in this challenge? If you get laid off from a job instead of despairing, see it as a chance to pivot towards something better. If you experience heartbreak, view it as an opportunity to understand yourself more deeply and redefine your values. When you adopt this mindset, life no longer feels like a series of random obstacles. It becomes a training ground for your personal development. You stop seeing events as good or bad, and instead see them as necessary steps in your journey. Rule 3. Accept death. Memento Mori. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Fear of death can be a crippling force. It stops people from trying new things, from stepping outside their comfort zones, and from fully living. The Stoics practiced Memento Mori, a reminder that one day we will die. This is not meant to be morbid. Rather, it is a tool to add urgency, beauty, and gratitude to life. When you realize that there will only be a finite number of times you see your loved ones, watch the sunset, or experience the small joys of life, you begin to cherish them more deeply. Instead of focusing on trivial annoyances, you become more deliberate with your time and attention because you now understand that they are limited resources. Also, when you accept that life is fleeting, you start living with greater intention. You stop procrastinating on your goals. You tell people you love them more often. You spend less time on unnecessary arguments, and more time on what truly matters. A practical way to implement Memento Mori is to visualize your own mortality daily. Reflect on the idea that this could be your last conversation, your last sunset, your last opportunity to pursue your dreams. Let that realization inspire you to act now, rather than waiting for some undefined later. Rule 4. Happiness is your responsibility. If you want something good, get it from yourself. Epictetus. Blame is a toxic habit. If we blame others for our circumstances, our actions, or our mood, we are rejecting responsibility for our lives. This mindset is one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth. When we acknowledge that our opinions, desires, thoughts, and actions are within our control, we reclaim ownership of our well-being. If we avoid responsibility, we stagnate, repeating the same mistakes year after year. But if we take ownership of our circumstances, we empower ourselves to change and grow. Happiness is not something handed to you by the external world. It is a choice, a practice, a responsibility. You must accept that you are responsible for your own well-being. No one else controls your happiness. It is a product of your own thoughts, actions, and choices. If you constantly seek validation from others, you surrender your inner peace to external forces. Instead, cultivate habits that reinforce internal fulfillment. Practice gratitude, engage in meaningful work, and develop self-discipline. True happiness is built from within. Rule 5. Embrace the reality that life involves change. Frightened of change, but what can exist without it? What's closer to nature's heart? Marcus Aurelius. Many people resist change because they crave comfort and predictability. The unknown is frightening, and disruptions to our routines feel like threats. But the reality is that change is inevitable. Life itself is a series of transformations. Food is broken down to nourish the body. Fire burns wood to provide warmth. We are constantly evolving whether we realize it or not. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "Accept death in a cheerful spirit, as nothing but the dissolution of elements from which each living thing is composed." If it doesn't hurt the individual elements to change continually into one another, why are people afraid of them changing and separating? It's a natural thing, and nothing natural is evil. Challenges and hardships are part of change, but it is precisely through adversity that we grow. Epictetus said, "What would have become of Hercules if there had been no lion, hydra, stag, or boar? No savage criminals to rid the world of. He would have just rolled over in bed and gone back to sleep." Difficulties forge strength. When faced with change, do not resist. Embrace it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Instead of fearing change, start training yourself to see it as an opportunity. Whenever life shifts in an unexpected direction, remind yourself, this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. The more you expose yourself to uncertainty, the more adaptable you become. Take on new challenges, learn new skills, step outside your comfort zone regularly. When you build a habit of embracing change, you become unbreakable, able to thrive in any circumstance. Take the Stoic path to freedom. If you want to live a life of peace, contentment, and strength, follow these Stoic principles. Accept what you cannot control. Love your fate, even the difficult parts. Remember that death gives life meaning. Take responsibility for your happiness. Embrace change as a force for growth. The path to freedom is not found in external circumstances, but within yourself. Master your mind, and you master your life. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content on how to apply ancient wisdom to modern life. And if you know someone who could benefit from these ideas, share this video with them. It might just be the push they need to start living a more resilient, intentional life. Be sure to check out the next video on the screen where we dive deeper into another Stoic practice that will help you grow even further. Keep growing, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.